Okay, we are live. Thank you very much. At this time, we will reconvene the regular meeting of the Suffern Central Board of Education, Tuesday, December 21st, 2021. Let the record reflect all board members are currently present. The time is 7:45. Please rise for the pledge. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so as has been the theme for the last several meetings, we have different schools in the house every week, every meeting, and tonight looks like some nice representation by the high school. So it's nice to see everybody here tonight. 1.07, we're going to pass over that. There is no student report tonight, so we will move directly to 1.08, the minutes of the regular meetings, December 7th, 2021. Do I have a motion? Ms. Dickman? Second?
Second.
Mr. Frazier? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? All right. 1.09, Superintendent Comments.
All right, here we go. We have 1 day left before the break. I know that I joined so many of my colleagues in the excitement of getting to this so-called finish line. It's a well-deserved break after 4 months of getting students reacclimated back to a quote-unquote normal school year, and we've made it. So I can't thank my colleagues and staff members throughout the district for all their work and dedication in getting to this point. Hopefully we can all rest up a little bit and be ready to hit the ground running on January 3rd. I had the great pleasure of being in Ms. Veit's classroom today, where they were engaged in a culminating experience where they were tasked by me to present a plan for redesigning their classroom space that would become a more inspiring, engaging, collaborative learning space for them. And they absolutely blew me away. Can't wait to share some of that information with the board members. One student in particular in the beginning of the session reminded me that today was the winter solstice, another opportunity for us to celebrate additional daylight, even if it's just 1 minute longer tomorrow, the amount of sunlight, just 1 minute, and the day after it's another minute. It's a sign that we're moving towards spring and summer. And so a little bit of optimism there that young man shared with me that I wanted to convey to everybody here. Speaking of optimism, the December Suffern Scoop, if you haven't seen it, highlights the incredible work and dedication of our young student musicians throughout the district, as they have now started, and we hope to continue, music performances for the first time in 2 years. Amazing. And it's really nice to see the smiles in their eyes and the engagement and enthusiasm from their teachers as we're beginning those performances again. And certainly we hope and expect those performances to continue in the new year. As you all know, COVID numbers have been increasing in dramatic fashion, not simply in the Suffern Central School District, but around our entire region and throughout the nation. I want to remind those in attendance today and those at home that we are continuing with our COVID protocols, making sure that students are safe while in school, and being very careful to conduct proper contact tracing when we learn of positive cases. Earlier today, I sent out a correspondence to staff and parents, and it's also posted on our website, letting everyone know that despite rumors that one may hear that schools are closing or shifting to remote learning, it is our intent as the Suffern Central School District to remain open. We recognize how important it is for students to be back in the classrooms. We want to keep that going. We have seen the detrimental impact that students being in isolation at home have had on them, and we hope that we will be able to continue to do so. So that is our intention. Of course, there are always circumstances out there that may, we do not want this to happen, that may cause us to change these plans. If that happens, we will communicate with everyone as soon as possible, but we do not expect that to be the case at this time. Finally, I'm going to yield the rest of my time to any members of the high school faculty and staff who are here this evening to highlight some of the great things going on in the high school. So if there's anyone that was planning to speak from the high school, if you'd like to come up to the podium, push the little silver button, introduce yourself, and share any of the great things that are going on, we would love to hear it.
Good evening. My classroom voice, sorry. Just like I told, good evening. I'm Chris DeRosa, foreign language teacher at Suffern High School. Excuse me. Just like I told our new superintendent, Dr. Gunderson, back in September, now is an exciting time to be a Mountie in the foreign language classroom at Suffern High School, but also on our Suffern High School stage. Not only tonight do I speak to you as a 24-year veteran foreign language teacher in my 21st year at Suffern High School, but also as director of our annual Suffern High School Fall Play. Even with the challenges we are faced with nowadays, we're able to offer our supportive community an awesome production, which we have done back in November, titled Tales of Day and Night. I was especially pleased to see so many board members in attendance, as well as our top Suffern Central leaders. One of the things that we are striving to do, my colleagues and I, was to give our students as much normalcy this year as possible. That is why it was paramount that Dan McCarter, Rich Murray, Laura Lessie, and myself, that we give our fine young actors, stage and technical crews the same opportunities we would have given our students in normal years, presenting a live, in-person production, which was very well received by our community. One exciting result of this year's production was that my cast enthusiastically persuaded me to start an acting club at Suffern High School, a club in which they would get personal acting lessons from yours truly. I fervently accepted, and we will start weekly acting lessons in our new club called The Actors Den, beginning the first week once we're back in January. I want to thank our school board, our administration, and our leadership at the top for supporting the arts with such interest. I wish you all happy holidays. Merci et joyeux Noël.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do I have to press the silver again? Okay, all right. Hi, everyone. My name is Liz Borchek. I'm an English teacher at the high school. I'm here on behalf of Heroes and Cool Kids. I co-advise a club with Stacy Samora and Seth Rahman as well. This is a really wonderful mentorship program, but the two elements that we really want to highlight tonight are two great improvements that we made this year. The first is that we are now a more diverse club than ever before. We have just under 10 bilingual students in our program. So they are now able to translate the lessons that we are teaching to the 6th and 8th grade classrooms to students who may have never had access to a full element of our visit before. So we're very happy that we can now give that to students who speak Spanish and a few other languages as well in all 3 of our visits this year.
The second improvement, as Liz had mentioned, was going into the 8th grade classrooms, which we haven't done before. We felt that this transition to include the 8th grade classrooms this year was really important. One, because they will have soon to be incoming freshmen, and they'll have familiar faces as they transition from middle school to high school. It's also the lessons that these students are talking to the 8th grades about. It's more relevant for them as well, and they'll learn something from that. We also wanted to thank Dr. Gunderson for joining us on our first visit to the middle school, and we were super excited about that, and we look forward to the more visits as we move forward.
So again, overall, between the heroes at the high school and the middle schoolers, the cool kids at the middle school, we have heard from teachers and the students. They feel empowered, they're inspired, and they're very excited for the 2nd and 3rd visit. So we really just want to make it known what they're doing, what's going on, and thank you for your support of this impactful program, because we really hope to see it continue in years future. All right, thank you very much. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Jana Edelman. I'm a teacher at Suffern High School. I'm the co-advisor for the class of 2023, current juniors. I work with Mrs. Fennell and an awesome group of kids. We do a lot of successful fundraising. Last spring, we did a clothing drive, which we were able to collect over 400 bags of used clothing and shoes. We plan to do that again this spring. We've done Mom's Kitchen to Go, Dine to Donate a couple of times. We're planning to do that some more. And last week we sold candy cane grams that were so successful. We sold out in 2 days flat. We are looking forward to more fundraising after the new year so we can get ready for our junior prom and then next year our senior prom. So thank you so much for all of your support and happy and healthy holidays to all.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sarah Guerra. I am a history teacher at Suffern High School, and I am also the faculty advisor of the Suffern GSA. After a year and a half of sporadic virtual meetings, we're really happy to be back in person. And this year in particular, we have had record numbers of students joining us on our weekly meetings. We have been able to fundraise successfully during the school play, our Candygram fundraiser for the Andrew Quigley Memorial Scholarship. And we're very happy to be able to do that again for the school musical, for our Carnations for the Cast. We also most recently worked with, in collaboration with our assistant principal, Danielle Castaldo, and our library secretary, Anna Milovich, to create a LGBTQ book nook in the high school library. I would like to take this opportunity to thank both of them for their hard work and support for the project. This representation in our school is so important to our club members and to the entire student body, and we look forward to continuing Suffern's key values of inclusivity and representation in the coming school year. So thank you so much for your support for our club.
Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Dan McCarter. I'm the orchestra director at Suffern High School. I also, like Mr. DeRosa, involved with the fall play and the spring musical, and I'm a proud district father of a 9th grader and a 12th grader. It's very exciting to have those college things come back today. I'd like to thank all of you, Dr. Gunnarsson as well, for supporting the return to concerts, which is so meaningful to our program and to our students. They've been very successful at all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. Very happy to don the red jacket again for our traditional rendition of Sleigh Ride with the choral students, the band students, and the orchestra students. I'd also like to tell you about some of the really exciting things that are the result of some of the extra work our students have done. Every spring, many music students go above and beyond and learn a solo for which they're given a score after they perform for an adjudicator. Then those scores are taken and the very best performing students get chosen to represent Suffern Central at a county, a regional, a state, and a national level. And we are one of the heaviest hitting school districts in our zone and in our state. And here are some fun numbers for you. We have 49 Suffern High School students representing Suffern High School at the senior all county. That's 10, 11, 12th graders. That's the most of any high school in Rockland County. That represents almost a third of the total participation in that festival is just Suffern High School music students. At the area all-state level, which is the very best students in Rockland, Orange, Sullivan, Ulster, and Greene counties, lower Hudson Valley, we had 27 Suffern High School students participate. In fact, we had the most students in the symphony orchestra. And as an especially proud moment for me, my former student was the conductor of the area all-state symphony orchestra. So it was a really cool full circle moment. And I think we even got some pictures to Jenny of that. Even better, we had 3 students participate in the all-state festival. Especially proud because it's about half the size this year as it's been in years past. We had 3 students, one in the orchestra, one in the jazz choir, which is the first time in my 23 years we've had a jazz student represent Suffern High School, and one in the mixed choir. And this year, very happy, we had an all-national singer as well. So very successful year. Thank you for your support. We have about 150 students involved in our spring musical, slated for this March. It's going to be Guys and Dolls, and I'd like to personally invite each and every one of you to come check us out. So thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Great. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here and for speaking and sharing some of the great things that are happening at Suffern High School. And thus concludes the superintendent's report for December 21st, 2021. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Gunderson. Thank you, everybody who got up and talked about all the wonderful things that are happening at the high school. This seemed to be the most, I think we, after like 4 meetings, we finally got a rhythm to having people come up and talk. So it only took us 4 times. All right. 1.10, public participation. This is public participation on action items only. If there is anybody who wishes to speak on any of the action items, please step to the podium. Seeing as there is nobody standing, we will close that portion of the meeting and move directly to action items. Tonight is action items 2.01 through 2.15. At this time, I would call for a consent agenda unless there is any item that anybody wishes to pull. Anybody have anything they want to pull? No? Okay. All right. So we will call a consent agenda for 2.01 through 2.15. Do I have a motion? Mrs. Hodge. Second?
Second.
Mr. Shapiro. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? All right. Thank you all very much. 3.01. This is an information item. This is going to be an advocacy committee meeting update, and I think I'm turning this over to Ms. Dickman.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So the advocacy committee met on Wednesday, December 8th, and we discussed a number of topics, both issues that are affecting our district now and what opportunities we see for the future. We're looking to improve on the areas that make our district as good as it is, as well as how we can make it better and how we can find ways to make it stand out from other districts in this area, and that would make families want to come to Suffern because of the unique opportunities that we have. There's a lot that we could talk about for and to advocate for. We decided to focus on just a few areas. The first is 2 areas that were really put into the forefront of our by the pandemic. And that, first of all, is the need to create free and accessible Wi-Fi for all of our students. It's wonderful that we can supply each student in our district with an electronic device, but its usefulness is very limited if the student can't use it to log on to class, if school is remote, or for other school-related purposes. So that is an area that we're going to focus on to try to get that access available to all of our students easily. The second is making free lunch and free breakfast available to all students, regardless of need. We know that more families than ever now are struggling with food insecurity, and a hungry student or one who is worried about the availability of their meals is not a student in the best position to learn. We also know that food insecurity can be intermittent, which makes it more difficult for families to get benefits. And for families that do have the resources, the time that it takes to shop and pack meals for their children to take to school that's safe to consume hours after they were prepared is a luxury for some families, just having the time. Time is a resource as much as money. We are examining whether providing breakfast and lunch to all students on a permanent basis, regardless of need, would result in less paperwork, less record keeping, students who are better equipped to learn, equity and equality throughout our district, and if it makes financial and practical sense for our community to continue this program. We also talked about future goals. What are the unique programs that we can offer that are desirable to families that would make them choose the Suffern schools over other similar districts? And how can we use the existing resources in our district to expand its offerings? And we're talking about both tangible resources such as buildings and facilities, but also intangible assets like the many talents and skills of our educators that are currently not fully accessed by the existing curriculum. Going back to food, we're thinking about how we can address the needs of the whole student. How can we increase the quality and the nutritional value of the food that's offered to students without substantially increasing the cost? Can we take advantage of local fresh ingredients from local producers? In this particular area, we have a lot of farms and we have a lot of food producers. Is there any way that we can take advantage of that in ways that we're not to bring better food to our students? Can school gardens be expanded to support this initiative and to teach students about the foods that they eat and to bring in new foods that the students have grown themselves? And how are we using the knowledge and the experience from other departments that are not directly involved in food choices, such as our science teachers, our physical education teachers, our social studies teachers? How can they become involved in food choices that make it cultural choices more interesting, food choices more interesting, and show how what students eat and how they choose to get their food can really impact their daily life? Looking forward, we're looking for ways to integrate the district's resources to address the needs of the whole student. Academics, nutrition, recreation, socialization, safety, and accessibility are not disparate concerns. If the focus becomes heavily weighted toward one area, the neglect of the others will inevitably impact the student's potential. We want to look at ways that all departments can work together to prepare our students for the world beyond high school. And finally, transportation. Transportation is a topic that continually needs to be addressed. Our district is in somewhat of an unusual position in that we have a large number of students who attend 7 public schools, as well as a significant number of students who attend over 100 non-public schools. Those schools are both inside and outside New York State, and they use different school calendars. Currently, our transportation budget and our transportation provider have to address all of the logistical issues that are presented by this while dealing with a shortage of drivers nationwide. We have received a great amount of feedback from the community about where the system is working and also where it's not working. The district's interests are in line with most, if not all, families in that they want their child's transportation to be above all safe, reliable, punctual, and especially for younger children to not have to spend an unreasonably long time on a school bus. This is an area that has absorbed a great deal of Dr. Gunderson's attention and the board's time as well. In the Advocacy Committee, we have discussed some ideas on how to serve the specific needs of our non-public school families while not taking anything away from the transportation of our public school students. We are planning to meet with our elected officials next year to see what opportunities exist to make adjustments in transportation to better meet those needs. So those are the short-term and long-term goals that the Advocacy Committee is working on. If there's nothing else from the committee, then I will wrap up.
I'm going to let you wrap up. I'm never going to speak again. And I'm just going to let you talk from now on forever, all the time.
All right.
Because that was a fantastic recap.
Oh, thank you.
So for the rest of the board and Dr. Gunderson, if there's anything that Ms. Dickman has brought up, I mean, if there's anything where you want to have a discussion, you know, the purpose of the Advocacy Committee, like other committees, is to meet and bring together ideas and things that we think could help the district, and then bring it back to the full board for discussion and, you know, ultimately some type of implementation if that's the way we we want to go. So I would just open it up to the board if there are any questions or thoughts about anything that was brought up tonight. I know a lot of it is still, in its infancy, but if there's anything that anybody wants to address, by all means, please, please do so.
The only thing I would like to say is great job. You're on the right track, and I think those topics are well needed, and I look forward to the outcome.
Okay, great. Ms. Dicker, thank you again for putting that together so well. Thank you. Okay. We'll move on. 6.01, board member comments. Are there any board member comments at this time?
Some comments, because I'm not done talking.
You don't have like another packetry, do you?
Volume 2.
Oh, boy.
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you to every educator who's here tonight and to all of our speakers. We are so pleased and so grateful to have these very uplifting moments in our school board meetings, especially when the news outside is a little scary and sad and uncertain, and to hear about the wonderful things that people are doing in the district and the dedication that you have to the students and to making them, to giving them a good experience every day is just so fulfilling to hear. And also, thank you to Mr. DeRosa for the personal invite to the play. I really enjoyed it. And I think I maybe even see some of the actors here tonight. But, one thing I noticed is that the acting was so good and the students were wearing masks, for their own safety and for the other safety. And really, a lot of the time, I didn't even notice. I mean, the acting really transcended that restriction. The actors just conveyed emotion so well and really just pulled everything off despite that restriction and knowing that you couldn't use your face for as much expressivity as you might like to. So I thought that really showed just such a good maturity, a perseverance, preparation, and really all the effort that you put into going beyond that restriction and really making this performance have such a solid impact and really very well done. So thank you for that.
That was it? Oh, okay. All right. I think, no, we're good. We're good. Anybody else? Any other comments?
I would just like to wish everyone who's celebrating this upcoming Christmas holiday season a very, very Merry Christmas. Happy and healthy, safe New Year as well.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Frazier.
Yeah,
Can't resist.
I can't resist. Most of you know why. Thank you for the staff from Suffern High. It was 7 years ago that I met a lot of you, and I was so impressed with Suffern High. I didn't want to be impressed, but boy, was I. And it's because of that impression and the spirit and the excellence in teaching and your love of students and the love of your craft, not only in the classroom, but in the extracurricular activities that many of you were involved in, that I find myself now sitting here. Because if I hadn't had that experience with you, I would not be here today. So I thank you for that. I don't know if my wife thanks you for that, but I do. And to echo Mr. Frazier's words, I wish all of you a very happy holiday and a very healthy 2022 and beyond. Let's let's all be safe as we can be, and I hope for all of your families that they're all safe as well. And once again, thank you for coming here tonight. It's really a pleasure to see a lot of you, though I do sneak in every once in a while, but I don't get to see all of you. But it's great to see some of you guys here. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Good? Good? All right. Okay. We will move on then to public participation. Now, this is public participation on any district-related business. Please step to the podium if you would like to make some remarks about the district. If you do, please state your name and affiliation. This will be a 3-minute speaking time. Okay, seeing as there is nobody, we'll close this portion of the meeting and move to superintendent closing comments.
I wish everybody a great break. Have a wonderful holiday if you're celebrating. Happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow and also January 3rd and beyond. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, thank you. Again, thank you everybody for attending tonight and for speaking about all the wonderful things that are happening at the high school. At this time, we'll make a motion to adjourn. Our next meeting will be January 18th. So it's a few weeks away. So between now and then, as everybody, I'll echo what most people here have said. I would wish everybody a very happy and healthy new year. Enjoy the time off, enjoy some downtime, enjoy some time with family if you're comfortable. And we'll see you all again in January. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Ms. Dickman. Second? Ms. Hodge. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned. Have a great last day of work tomorrow.